1 kilo of gray matter. $100 milliliters of water. Looks too dry. Let me assure you, this is perfect, perfect, perfect. The first stage of mixing. This is sandcastle wet. If you were making a sandcastle at the beach, this would be perfect. At this point, we need to be very careful with how much more water we add to this, because this is right on the edge. So what I'm going to do is just wet my hand. I'm going to make my hand wet, and that will be enough. That's how I'll add water to the mix at this point. There we go. Okay. Closer. A little wetter. There. So, I like to start at 100 milliliters per kilo. And then from that point, gradually add water. Depending on the time of year, if it was the middle of the summer and really humid, 100 milliliters might be perfect. But it is the middle of winter. It's currently minus 30 degrees outside, Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's definitely below 0 in Fahrenheit. Minus, I have no idea. Minus 14? Okay. A little bit more. We're right about there. That's probably it right there. Okay, yeah. Here we go. There we go. Oh, that's nice. Incorporated all this concrete in here into the middle. And then we've got our mix. So this is an ideal amount of water to be working with. If your concrete is wetter than this, you run the risk of it being very weak. What you want to be able to do, and how you can tell this is ready to roll, is I can literally roll it. I'm going to roll around, pick up all our dry bits out here on the board. There we go, that's nice. Perfect. Every Tim. I'm gonna break this up into 1, 2, 3 balls. And I'm going to start adding pigment to these. I will start with a little bit of white. I like to add white first because it helps any other pigment you add to the mix really pop. Now, I'm going to pick our colors. This one is going to be green. I'm going to go just a little bit of green. This one in the front, I'm going to make purple. Now, purple is not a mix color that comes direct from concrete. I've blended, this is my own blend of blue and red pigment. So this is a teal mix, but I'm just going to use a tiny bit. It's a mix of blue and green. I'm going to start with just a little sprinkle of water right in the middle of each color. Just to kind of get things started. Get purple a little more. And now I'll just fold over into the pigment. Press it out. Fold and press. Squish it all together. And just start kneading the color in. Pigments are something you need to be careful with. Adding too much pigment to a mix can make your concrete weak. So you really want to be careful with your saturations, how much pigment you add into a mix. Look at that. Okay, that looks good. I like that. That's a nice, give it a little more. It's a nice purple. It's all purple. It's all purple. It's got good flow. Let's go teal next. When you're mixing colors, you should go from lightest to darkest. I'm not too worried. None of these colors are that dark, so it's not that big of a deal. But if I was working with a color like, say, black, if black was in the mix, You'd want to do black last. Otherwise, big trouble. Okay. Teal. I'm going to add a little bit more. A little water too. Okay, come on. Come on. Looks good. There we go. Nice robin's egg blue. Last but not least, I don't want any of these to dry out, so I'm going to give this a little kneading. Now we're green. Let's do this. Give it a little more water. Just make sure we keep our workability up. Water is another thing you need to be very careful when you add it to your concrete. It might seem like it's better to work with concrete that's wet, really wet, because you get really good flow, and you can fill molds really quickly, and you don't have to tap the sides of your molds out as much, and it gets into all the little nooks and crannies. So you might think, oh, wet mix, that's going to be really helpful for me. That is not the case. If you want whatever you make to have longevity, you want to add as little water as possible. Just enough water to give your mix the flow it needs to do what it's got to do. If it's under vibration, it should be flowing. If it's not under vibration, it should be surprisingly hard. I like that. Okay. So, now here's where things get fun. Pull these apart. We start folding some colors together. This is the secret to really great marbling. We lay that down like a pancake. Put our teal on top. A layer of purple. A little bit more green on one side. Spread it out to the side. Fold it over in half, and in half, and then watch this. Ooh. Look at that. Let's do it again. Get our purple in there, all of our teal. And then some green. That in half, and in half. Yeah, look how good that looks. Let's get this into a mold. So here's a mold that I cut out of plastic coated wood, melamine, used for making cabinets. You can buy it at a local hardware store. And I'm just going to drop these into place. I'm going to tear off Tear off a nice bit. Expose some color. Drop it into place. Tear a bit, drop it into place. Tear, drop. Tear, drop. Tear, drop. Shake it up. Give it some nice shaking here. We get a nice movement. Look at all this beautiful color we got going. So, keep shaking. Tapping. There we go. That's a wrap. Give it a day, and you can pop out and sand down this beautiful marbled tile. Good night.